Morning.
Welcome to the election system of the Virgin Islands. Welcome again for the stenographer's edification. Welcome to the St. Thomas, St. John Territorial Committee, Joint Boards of Election. We have agendas there. We have much business to do. I'm asking that you limit your conversation. If you must speak to each other, please do so in a room, because this is an official meeting. We have lots of business to do here and hardly time to do it because of travel arrangements. Members came from the St. Croix district, and some still running here, and they have to leave at certain times so they can get from.
Point of information, Madam Chair.
Member Brian?
Good morning. Is there any way that you can have this door closed so we don't get the noise on the side? And at the same time, we can have another full complement of our membership. All of us have reservation will be here. And I understand that two of us are missing, so is there any way we can wait for those two members, the right man?
The members who aren't here have to leave the earliest, and we have a quorum here when I'm going to ask for a roll call, so we'll continue until we get it.
Except that in St. Croix, we waited for one more person to come until 4 hours.
Excuse me, we're going to have our roll call.
I hear it.
I understand what you're saying.
So you say you're not going to afford the same opportunity that we afford in St. Croix
I'm
for
saying
4
we have a
hours?
quorum now, so we're going to have quorum call, and then we're going to continue.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Okay. Well, I attended at the beginning of the meeting.
Just started.
Okay, good. All right. Lawrence Bishotti, absent. Claudia Georges. Present. Claudia Georges, present. Mr. Harry Daniel, absent. Emma Marsh Monsanto. Present. Emma Marsh Monsanto, present. Ms. Lydia Hendricks.
Present.
Lydia Hendricks, present. Alicia M. Wells.
Here.
William M. Wells, present. Arturo Washington Jr. Martin on here. Delbert Ryan.
Here.
Delbert Ryan. Liliana Bellard, Mrs. Liliana Bellard O'Neill.
Okay.
Present.
Liliana Bellard O'Neill, present. Mr. Roland Molina. Mr. Roland Molina, absent. Mr. Glenn Webster. Mr. Glenn Webster, present. Mrs. Lisa Harris Moorhead. Lisa Harris Moorhead, present. Mr. Rupert Ross Jr. Present. Rupert Ross Jr. present. Mr. Raymond Williams.
On his way.
Mr. Williams absent. Okay, Madam Chair, we have 5 members from St. Croix and 5 members from St. Thomas, which is total 10. We do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sparks.
Oh,
Mr. Sparks is here.
Okay.
And who else from your office?
I'm the only one here today.
And we have the 2 assistants to the boards. St. Croix is Andrew, welcome, and St. Thomas and John is welcome.
Motion.
I'm not finished. Volkers and Andrew, and Attorney Kimberly Salisbury, the board's,
Motion, Madam Chair.
the board's council motion. Member Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Consistent with the Supreme Court order of Willie Ford of this month, I am moving that the joint board follow the instructions to the board of Mr. Pack pursuant to Title 18, subsection 4 and 5, where the board is required to approve and supervise the action of the supervisor, that this board presently follow instructions and ballot presented from Mr. Platt to tell us the status. Could you hear me? You talking on the phone?
I'm speaking on my phone, I got something there.
I
I object, Madam Chair.
didn't hear what the motion was.
I'm repeating it again.
I didn't hear the motion at all.
Isn't complete.
Okay, good.
You didn't finish the motion. It's not complete.
I know we have an agenda here. I know we have an agenda.
Motion
Your
takes
motion,
precedent.
Member Brian?
Could I repeat the motion? So the motion takes precedence of the phone call and conversation. My motion again is the joint board convening today. Vote pursuant to Title 18, subsection 4, B and 5. We require that the board approve and supervise any action of the supervised election into compliance with the order to have the St. Croix election ballot for the general election be approved and get a report from Mrs. Fox as to the status of the change or present that ballot to this joint board. So moved. Second.
Object.
Objection, Member
And
Brian?
I object on a point of order. Madam Chair, I think Glenn Webster. Glenn Webster.
Say your name, please, for the reporter when you're speaking.
Madam Chair, I object on a point of order. I think we have an agenda here. I haven't heard any motion to move or change the agenda, so I would ask that the chairman rule that motion out of order at this point.
Member Brian?
Madam Chair,
Your motion is out of order because you didn't ask for a change.
could I explain, Madam Chair?
Now we're gonna move on with
But I'm saying, he made his reason, I'm making mine. You have a legal, you have a legal counsel right there. This is a continuation of the previous joint board
There's no
meeting in St.
continuation.
Croix.
This is a
And I'm
new
saying,
agenda.
the attorney is right there,
Kimberly,
the
sounds
order is a
I'm gonna
continuation.
ask for the,
My motion again
Asking for
is
your
to
opinion
rearrange the
of
agenda to consider them.
That's another motion.
That's right.
No.
That's
The
another
first
motion.
motion was, you moved and it was second.
Yes.
And now we're gonna vote on that first, but it was out of order. Now you're making a
It could
second
not be
motion.
an order. Out of order, I'm saying, Madam Chair, this agenda is a continuation of the
No, it's
previous.
not. It's a new agenda.
But now, you said the meeting is a joint board meeting of the
Are you making a motion,
continuation.
Member Brian?
My motion is to rearrange the agenda and
Oh,
consider
now
my
that's a
previous
motion.
motion. So moved.
Roll call on the motion to rearrange the agenda.
Madam Chair, I object on a point of order. There is nothing, no motion to reorder what? What he's talking about isn't on the agenda. So what is he reordering?
So he's added to the
He
agenda.
can't add to the agenda without the consent of the
Member-
majority ruling.
Well, that's where you take a roll call. That's where you take a roll call.
Not on the agenda.
All right,
so
it's
we
not
can-
on the agenda, so we can't reorder something that's not on here initially.
I am make a motion just now to reorder the agenda, to place on the agenda the court decision for the joint board and Ms.
You're
Fox.
changing your motion all the time. All
But
right.
no, I have a right to make my language clear.
All right.
And my
Roll
motion
call.
is simply put to rearrange the agenda to consider the Supreme Court order of 24 directing the joint board and Mrs. Fox to prepare a ballot according to the court order. That's my motion. And it was second.
Wait a minute. Okay, let's have a roll call on the motion.
Okay,
Objection, Member Moorhead.
order.
I understand and hear the motion, but I'm asking through the chair please explain what the status of the court. Because my understanding, we're under two court orders, not just one. And it's also my understanding that this joint board is not party to, not legally party to any superior or supreme court ruling, but we are a party to this court permanent injunction that, as far as I know, is still doing something happening last night and now. So I want to know what's the difference. I mean, on one hand, if we follow one court order, we're in defiance of that court order. If we follow the other, we're in defiance of that court order. So how do we decide which jail we want to go to, local jail or federal jail?
Point of information.
Excuse me?
Point of information.
Attorney Salisbury.
I have a same question to the chair for legal
Attorney
counsel.
Salisbury is going to respond to
I'm
member
not
Moore.
obstructing your question, I'm saying a point of information to the
Member
chair.
Attorney Salisbury is responding to member Moore's.
But I already know because you're not mail about it already.
Attorney Salisbury.
The BI Supreme Court ruled on this issue last, ruled that the BI District Court did not have jurisdiction to hear the case, and ruled that Senator Hansen did not have.
I can't hear you. Could you stand?
Speak up.
You could stand.
Excuse me.
We
Mr.
can hear her,
Mr. Chair,
she's here, the board.
listen,
We're
Madam
hearing.
Chair, if in fact Mr. Dickerson needs to tell those people in the audience,
Well, I already
why,
admonished,
please,
when I started the meeting, I did.
they've been speaking for them.
Continue, please, Attorney Salisbury.
Serving us though. This is a public meeting.
Therefore,
Well, you can
Listen.
listen. You don't have nobody have to speak so you could hear unless we have mics.
Point of order, Madam Chief, could you let the
Attorney
legal counsel go
Salisbury is
ahead,
still
please?
completing her
When he
thought.
talking right up the
I
I can't
talking
hear
because-
you.
Attorney
people talking,
Salisbury
okay?
is completing her thought.
You didn't come here and run this meeting how you wanted.
Attorney Salisbury is completing her thought.
Can't hear what you said.
therefore, the
Yes.
BI Supreme Court order stands as the one to follow. With respect to whether or not the joint board was a party, I do understand that there is confusion over that issue. The BI Supreme Court made it clear, albeit in a footnote, that they do believe the joint board was a party to this case. That being said, despite the BI Supreme Court order, it's my understanding that Section 4 actually says the district boards approve the ballot. And I know the joint board in general has approved together the instructions and the format, but it's with respect to individual candidates. To me, that would be a district board matter, not a joint board.
Okay, but you're not answering my question. My question was, there are two court orders. You're saying the Supreme Court ruled last. That doesn't rule.
Not only ruled last, also ruled that the district court didn't have jurisdiction.
I understand what they ruled, but that's assuming that we agree with what they ruled, and I'm not playing
Well,
lawyer
we
here.
often have to follow orders that we don't agree with.
Well, can I finish?
That's what I was saying. I did answer the question.
No, you didn't, because you never spoke to the district court matter. We're not relieved of the district court permanent injunction because of what the Supreme Court ruled, are we? Or you're saying
That's
that?
what the Supreme Court is saying.
That's what the Supreme Court is saying. I'm asking, as a matter of law, if we were never served, number one, and no district court was served in either matter. Only the joint board was a party from the inception of the district court order. How is it that any board, particularly the joint board, has any responsibility with respect to the Supreme Court's order?
The matter of service is still up to debate. I don't know all those facts.
Well, in your years of practicing law, have you ever known a defendant to be offended about getting served?
No.
Point of order, and through the chair, a question.
Member Brian?
I want to make it very clear. One, Attorney Salisbury, and you, a few days ago, emailed all the board members, like it or not, that the Supreme Court order must be complied as it relates to the instruction of facts and the joint board. Did you write that email to them?
To the same court.
Here. Therefore, they're here to do. Right? Therefore, the order in record, on record, from the Supreme Court addresses the joint board, correct? Is it right here? Okay. Therefore, what is the most recent order that you read about this situation?
I already answered that.
Supreme Court, correct?
Yes.
Of the Virgin Islands. The last order from the district court made it very clear that this issue of a ballot and name pursuant to what the argument was a local matter and it must be decided locally, and they remanded that order to the Supreme Court. Correct? Okay. So therefore, why, not you, why are some of these members, liars or not, still trying to interject an order that already told us that the jurisdiction for this local matter rests with the Virgin Islands Court. So I really want to make it clear. Absent the joint vote for the district board approving the decision of Mr. Stocks, supervisor of election, pursuant to Title 18, subsection 4B and 5. Who has the final decision to approve what Mr. Stocks does?
I just said, I have two comments to make. A, I believe that is the St. Croix District Board's decision. And B, I believe you have a conflict of interest. Since this is your personal lawsuit, you should not be involved in voting on this ballot.
Well, I consider it no, but I have to be active participant to enforce the order of the court instruction to me. Right?
You can do a conflict of interest.
My conflict of interest is to all the...
Excuse me?
Can I finish, please? I'm speaking through the chair to legal court.
You can't have both together at the same time.
You can't hear you at the same
And,
time.
Come here, you are
and,
both of you speaking at the same time.
Can I speak?
I can't shut up because you elected against what I have to say. You all need to
One
shut
at a
up.
time, please.
No, we don't.
No, I am not going to allow them to be engaging back there. Okay? I am doing it.
All right.
Mrs. Fox, Mrs. Chair,
Yes.
Madam Chair, can I speak now? And I will stop so Attorney Mr. Salisbury can respond, right? Am I fair enough now?
We're gonna set some time.
Okay, Mrs.
Yeah, that's some time limit.
Mrs. No.
Yeah, you have to. Let me have all them stupid all day. No, it's stupidness, and we need to acknowledge the
Excuse me,
stupidness.
excuse me.
So I'm saying, Mr. Madam Chair, to the legal counsel, I have an interest of a court order, and the wish of your advice to the membership here that I should vote. I don't argue what you would say, but I'm saying pursuant to Title 80, subsection 4B and 5, as a member of the St. Croix District Board, I still have a responsibility to the court and to decide the approval of what Mr. Fox is doing. When I'm a part of the action as a person, I'm still a member of the board. And the steps we just want to clarify, what would be your rule? I go outside, or I sit here and don't vote, and I'm not going to sit and don't say yes or no, and I'm not going to be abstaining, and I'm not going to excuse myself after following your instruction to leave the meeting. Okay, well, if I can't be,
You're gonna have,
the conflict is that not against us, but everybody knows I'm the person who find action. The conflict is already made already, thank you.
all right, roll call on the motion. Ready for roll call, Member Waddington?
The motion, as I understand it, and I can say as I understand it, is to bring the issue of the Supreme Court order before this body to discuss, enforce its law and follow the ruling of the district court.
No, not the district court.
I mean the Supreme Court, I'm sorry. That's what's written.
That's the problem.
No, she didn't do it out of order.
The roll call, and is that motion written?
I wrote it up as best as I could
Okay,
because I
then
can't
that's the one we're on.
I just
Roll
have to
call.
write it as
Could I write it? You want me to write it?
Roll call on the
Okay.
motion.
Clarence Laurie Peshalty, absent. Harry Daniels, absent. Claudette Georges, yes. Lydia Hendricks, no. Wilma Marsh Monsanto,
Yes.
yes. Arturo Watlington, yes. Alicia Wells,
No.
no. Liliana Bellardi O'Neill,
Yes.
yes. Delbert Bryan,
Yeah.
yes. Lisa Harris Moorhead, yes. Lisa Harris Moorhead abstained. Roland Molina, absent. Rupert Ross Jr.,
No.
no. Glenn Webster,
Yes, we have an election coming up Tuesday.
You just need to say
yes,
yes.
yes. Glenn Webster, yes. Raymond Williams, absent. Madam Chair, 6 yeas, 3 nays, 1 abstention, 4 absent.
Okay, the motion is carried. So we're gonna add that to our agenda.
Where we got it?
First item.
Below,
Yeah,
just before the,
There was no such thing as first like that. You
no,
don't say we ordered it.
we already
So wait,
added
okay.
after the, number 7 will be number 8, and we're gonna add that to, put that number 7.
I'm here to you, Madam Chair, on the first, where it says D, you're adding it where?
Number 7, and then 30-day audit would be number 8.
Number 7 on the first D would be 8. And
The motion
Again,
that was just carried would be number
I
7.
have a question.
The audit would be 8.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question, maybe you can get it clear, please. If you're speaking about the audit of the court, how are we going to address all these things, we deciding which ballot we're using and the process and the certification?
Madam Chair.
I'm asking a question.
That's where it's going to be, number 7, after the certification.
Thank you.
And then number 8, the 30-day audit. On the agenda as printed, Mrs. Fox, you were saying something?
Where were you? I said, don't forget we want to add that over there with the.
Madam Chair.
Member Watlington?
Madam Chair, I would move that we add a presentation from Dr. Coverdale to today's agenda and have it at number 1 on the agenda prior to ballot collection.
Objection.
Move in
Objection.
second, objection, Member Bryan?
My reason for objection is that Dr. Coverdale, being hired by Mrs. Fox as the territorial coordinator for the process of election, whatever she's involved with, I haven't seen anything in writing as of this date for function. And in addition to that, if we're going to hear from Dr. Coverdale, we have to establish a role, a salary, or authorization to hire without the board's approval. So I'm still trying to find out, even though you're going to get the vote to put on, I need anything she's going to be saying in writing so I can read it.
Okay.
That is my concern.
All right, Member Ross, you were going to say something?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you for the opportunity. I want to go on record that I voted no for it on this agenda because I agree with the council that is an issue for the St. Paul District Board to address. I'd also like to go on record if and when the St. Paul District Board, first of all, let me back. I have delayed participating in this process because when we were meeting on Monday, I had anticipated that we would have access to counsel, give us advice on how to proceed. That did not occur. I also had conversations, off-the-record conversations with the supervisor concerning the state of readiness of the election system, depending on which way the council would go. I'd like the record to reflect that when the supervisor prepared the first ballot and initially removed a candidate from that ballot, I supported one. When the supervisor prepared the second ballot and added a person to the ballot, I also supported one. And as soon as I know the position of the supervisor as it relates to legal counsel, I would support him. But I think that decision, as the council duly states, should be the St. Paul District.
Point of information, Madam
I'm
Chair.
prepared to do that at that time.
Point of information, Madam Chair.
Member Bryan, please.
I think, now in fairness to all of the members here, what is important that we must recall that Tony Strasberg couldn't get over, and she wasn't on phone, and after she said she was in her office, and when she had gotten a plane, she would have come and she would have been late. That was what she said on the record, it is recorded. Secondly, all of us had access to that to cover, we had Tony Salisbury on the phone, and we should recall, it is recorded in the transcript, that a motion was made in this inquiry district that while we were waiting for the members of St. Thomas to come, that the board of St. Inquiry would meet immediately after the joint board meeting, and that was voted down by some of the very people sitting right here. Again now, Mr. Ross should tell you, and I asked Mrs. Fox, Mr. Webster, and Mr. Molina, if Mr. Ross didn't receive a service on November 9th, September 9th, 2014.
1 minute, member Brian.
1 minute, thank you.
Please finish up.
2014, to be solved in a case involving the joint board of election and Mrs. Fox. Mr. Fox, never, Mr. Ross.
Please.
It's a minute.
The minute is done.
No, but I
Please
want
call
to,
time.
are we going to set time limits now for
Yes,
everybody?
I said that when we first started.
Okay, thank you. So who's going to do the timing?
We have the timer right here.
Mrs. Attorney Salisbury?
No, member Hendricks.
I object to that. One member can't time and I can't time
All
this.
right, well, attorney.
Before Attorney Salisbury does the time.
Well, it's time, member
I
Brian.
hear
and we
you,
need to have
but I'm
roll
saying
call
Mr.
on
Ross
the
said it's
motion.
okay. Never
We
met
need to
that.
have
Lawrence
roll call on the
Bashorty,
motion.
Harry Daniels, absent. Claudette Georges,
President,
Lydia Hendricks. At the motion to have to hear from Dr. Coverdale as item 1 of today's agenda. Claudette Georges, yes. Lydia Hendricks, yes. Wilma Mas Monsanto. Lydia, Wilma Mas Monsanto.
If we heard from Dr. Coverdale, yes.
Wilma Mas Monsanto, yes. Arturo Watlington, yes. Alicia M. Wells. Alicia M. Wells, yes. Liliana Belardi O'Neill. Liliana Belardi O'Neill, yes. Adelbert Bryan.
no.
Adelbert Bryan, no. Lisa Harris Moorhead. Lisa Harris Moorhead, not voting. Roland Molina. Roland Molina, absent. Rupert Ross Jr. Rupert Ross Jr. abstain. Glenn Webster.
Yes.
Glenn Webster, yes. Raymond Williams, absent. Madam Chair, seven yeas, 1 nay, 2 abstentions, 4 absent.
The motion is carried. Dr. Coverdale, I'm not saying.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Come, please. Welcome. And joint board meeting. Member Harris.
What are information?
Since we've never had the courtesy of being introduced to Dr. Coverdale.
Mrs. Fox.
Yeah.
She did it at the last board meeting.
Come on.
She wasn't here.
I wasn't
Well,
here.
Oh,
that's
well,
not
so we
our
said
fault.
aye.
We did, and she
Right,
gave
but
that
I did,
presentation.
I did,
Hello?
okay, I didn't know. Can you call it
Mrs. Fox,
now?
please introduce, introduce Dr. Coverdale and those persons who work
But then I
here.
never see it before, so I know how to do it.
Mrs. Fox, please introduce Dr. Coverdale.
Point of order, please, Madam Chair. If we already voted to hear Mrs. Dr. Coverdale, I think Dr. Coverdale, if she's here in person, should tell us who she is.
Mrs. Fox, please introduce Dr. Coverdale, and then Dr. Coverdale will speak as she can. Member Ross, you have a question?
What are information? When you, what's the topic?
What is she speaking on?
I hear you.
Last board meeting, it was requested that both, all the contract person that we work with come to the board.
Exactly.
She was scheduled to come over on the flight, she wasn't available, so now we have a meeting here, she's here. However, she was at the last joint board meeting, and she did her presentation, she gave a background information of herself. She also gave us a handout which was shared with all the admin, and I'm sure Mr. Brent should have gotten a copy. And before that, we had given all of you her job description. A copy was sent to all board members with her resume. So today is just a follow-up presentation based on the ballot and the testing that's been going on. Again, that was requested from the last joint board meeting that was held on Monday in St. Croix. Okay, so she'll give a little background for those that weren't here at the last joint board meeting that we had here October 10th. She presented here as well.
Good morning.
Good morning. A formal good morning to Chairperson Wells. A formal good morning to the Chairperson Watlington, Chairperson Bryan, all of the members of the board, Supervisor Fox, members of the media and the public. My name is Dr. Tanja Carreo, and I currently serve in the capacity of the Elections Technology Territorial Coordinator for both the District of St. Croix and the District of St. Thomas and St. John. I am a third-party contractor who does not work for the vendor ES&S, Election Software Systems, nor am I a direct employee of the Joint Board of Elections. I've been chosen to serve in this role because I have 17 years of professional experience in the area of information systems and technology, and I am also a 3-degree holder, a BS, an MBA, and a PhD in Information Sciences and Systems. And I am a professor at the University of the Virgin Islands in the area of information systems and technology. Thus,
I qualify as an expert in information technology both professionally and academically. My goal here today is to try to bring some clarity to some of the issues surrounding how the DS200 machine tabulates and how it performs as it relates to the straight party tabulation. I will be referencing sections of the Virgin Islands Code. If you have the Virgin Islands Code in front of you, I will be referencing Title 18, Chapter 21, Subchapter 2, Article 584, numbers 2, letter B, numbers 2 through 5, and letter D. I will be using this board here as a visual. It would also be helpful for you if you have in front of you a sample ballot. If there is anyone who would like a sample ballot at this time, please alert Supervisor Fox, and I'm sure she will ensure that you have a sample ballot for your purview. Okay. Firstly, if you have the code in front of you, and if you don't, I will read it out to you for those who do not have the opportunity to have it in front of you. Article 584, letter C, says, at the general elections, an elector shall prepare his or her ballot in the following manner. We now go to number 2. If he desires to vote for every candidate of a political party, he may depress the button, in this case, fill in the oval, opposite the name of the party of his choice in the party column on the ballot, and every such depression shall be equivalent to and counted as a vote for every candidate of the party so marked. So, if you have your sample ballot in front of you, on the beginning side, on the front side, you will see 3 symbols. One for each of the registered parties in the Virgin Islands. Democrat, Republican, Independent Citizens Movement. Currently, when you fill in either of the 3, every slated candidate on that party will receive a vote. So I'm going to draw this here just so we understand.
Point of order.
I would greatly
Point of
appreciate
order,
if we could
please.
finish because it's,
Point of order.
okay,
Member Bryan?
If we proceed in a particular way, I want us to get all of Mr. Young Lady got the covering. Said she was qualified as an expert. And I'm saying, if she don't present me with a certification from appropriate jurisdiction or court as a qualified expert, I want it to be known on record. What she said is what the record will
Okay,
quote.
you've made your
I'm not
point on
finished,
the
madam.
record.
I'm not finished. Hello.
Your
And she just mentioned,
is on the record, Dr. Coverdale.
I would like for her to tell us again. She's making reference to symbol ballot. I just want to make sure that she's making
Dr.
reference.
Coverdale,
Thank
please
you.
continue.
thank you, ma'am. Okay, so on this side, we're going to have DS200 because I want to make a comparison between how your previous machine worked and the DS200 machine worked. And it will be relevant as we continue to go through the various areas of the code. So previously, the old machine. So previously, if you select Democrat, okay, press your button for Democrat. All of the Democrats would light up, okay? Same thing with the DS200, and I'm going step by step, so please do not interrupt me until we finish the entire presentation, because it does come back. When you fill in your button for Democrat, all of your Democrats are done. Okay, that's for now. The next section says, number 3, if the voter depresses a button opposite the name of a candidate of the party and also depresses the button opposite the party of the ballot on the electronic voting machine, then the depression in the party shall be the equivalent to and shall be counted as a vote for every candidate of the party. So that is saying that if I select Democrat and then I go here and I select a Democratic candidate, we're still talking about same party. I select Democratic whoever, Okay? Since I have this, and these parties match, the Democrats will still receive their vote. Okay? That's what it says. So far I think we are all understanding because this is just straight party at this point. Now, the next section 4. If an elector wishes to vote a split ticket, that is, to vote for any combination of candidates from different political parties or political bodies or independent candidates, he shall make a depression opposite the name of the candidates for whom he wishes to vote. Let's go to the old machine. Okay, so what it is saying is if I want to vote for anyone, any combination, whether they're ICM or Republican or Democrat or Independent, I, as an elector of the U.S. Virgin Islands, have the right to vote for whoever I want to vote for. And in the old machine, okay, I would then forego this, and I would go to whoever I want to vote. Likewise, in the new machine, I would forego filling in the straight party symbol, and I would circle in whoever I want. Okay. The issue that I think we're all grappling to understand is, well, what happens if I select the party symbol and then I select other people? So let's start with the old machine again. In the old machine, you select Democrat and all of the people who are Democrats will get your vote. Then if you decide, you know what? I really want to vote for the Republican delegate to Congress. I really want to do that. Obviously, I cannot do that if I've selected this. So I'm going to go and punch this again, and I'm going to erase this, and then all of these are erased, and then I can go then back and select who I want. Fortunately, the DS200 does the same thing, however, you're not seeing it. And I think this is what happens. There's a virtual step that is unable to be seen by the voter, but it happens. So let me explain how it works. I select the Democratic ticket, and that gives everybody my vote. My delegate, governor race, senator at large, legislature, everybody but the Board of Elections. Because the law says the Board of Elections should not receive the benefit of the straight party ticket, which it does not. Okay. Now, I then say, this is each race. These are our Democrats and these are other people. I then say, you know what? I really, really want to vote for another candidate for delegate, for delegate. Once I do this, this is akin to, on the old machine, canceling my right to vote for everybody. Because once I go over here and I say I no longer want to vote straight Democrat, it is a virtual step that cancels this straight party vote. This gets canceled. So what happens is this person does not get the vote, and the person I went and purposely voted for gets the vote. It's not that it's giving it to the wrong person. I chose to fill in this circle. I chose to go in there, and I chose not to vote Democrat. Because if I wanted to vote Democrat, then I would have not changed my vote. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So just to read, again,
I'm sorry,
title.
Doesn't it in fact cancel all of the Democrats, not
point of order. I just tell me something and leave and interrupt, you know. But right that Tony got a right to drop a lecture. I am the board, you know.
Okay, so,
see that?
can I take questions at the
Just
end?
wait at the end.
This is the last
We can get it, yeah, we will.
So, just to reiterate, and we're looking at that, this is supporting a voter's right to vote the split ticket. I chose Title 18, Chapter 21, Subchapter 2, Article 584, letter B, number 4, says if an elector wishes to vote a split ticket, that is to vote for any combination of candidates from different political parties or political bodies or independent, he shall do so. So this is doing the same thing that the old machine did. You're just not seeing a big old X being removed. It's calculating the same exact way. What you may or may not know is that we received a statement from the vendor, Election Systems and Software, who says that 14 other states are using the same straight party vote, which has been confirmed by the Election Assistance Commission, who is the federal body who certifies these machines. I do not see how the Election Assistance Commission, who is the federal body, would certify a machine that wouldn't work in every jurisdiction that it covers, which includes the United States, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam. You don't have to be a state to be part of the federal jurisdiction of the EAC. So I went into the code and I tried to make sense of this, and this is what I see as the expert. Why am I an expert? Because I have the academic credentials, I have the professional credentials, and if anyone would like a copy of my CV, Curriculum Vitae, feel free to approach me afterwards and I can give you that. Meanwhile, my goal here today is to inform everyone, and it may be difficult to understand because technology sometimes isn't that easy to understand. We get it. But the old machine and the new machine does the same exact thing. So if the old machine was compliant with VI code, then technically the new machine is also compliant with VI code. First, finally, please refer to your sample ballot.
While we're getting our ballots, I'll acknowledge the presence of members Williams and Molina.
But she wasn't finished. She still ain't finished.
Yep, I acknowledge the presence of members Molina and Williams.
He went to the front. They hear me
Thank you
sitting.
very much. Now that we have our sample ballot,
Okay,
Hello,
please,
see you finished.
please locate the referendum section on the back side of your sample ballot. You will notice that we have two referenda on our sample ballot, in which you can only fill in one answer, yes or no or nothing. You can opt not to fill in anything, okay? Yes or no or nothing.
letter friendly.
Hello, please.
You can fill in both if you want.
Hello.
Okay,
You're saying you shouldn't.
if,
Please let her finish.
well, no, I don't understand how you have a yes and a no answer, but okay. If you fill in the yes and you submit the ballot, it scans correctly. If you fill in a no and you submit the ballot, it scans correctly. If you fill in the yes and a no, and this is where we have crowd participation, because again, technology is just basic logic. It's logic. It's black and white, 0 and 1. It's very simple. If you fill in two answers and a one answer only question, what do you expect to happen to the ballot?
Spoiled.
It should not be spoiled. It should be. It comes back out and gives the user or the voter the opportunity to correct their ballot, and that's what happens. So currently, if I fill in yes and no, and I put it in, it's going to give it back to me and say, please check the answer, because you can't do yes and no. Like, you just can't do yes and no. That's no, just can't. That's just life, right? You have to have a position or none, but you can't do yes or no. So it brings it back. Yes, it will give you an error. So absolutely, if I brought in, and we were trying to bring in a DS200 right now so I can show you, if I brought it in and scanned it, absolutely it would give me an error. It is supposed to give me an error. So I want you to understand, in conclusion, that the technology, A, does the same thing that the old machine does, but in a different way, logically structured. It does the same exact thing, which is compliant to the EAC and the Virgin Islands Code. And two, it does the same thing in terms of giving you certain errors. It's supposed to give you technology is not always supposed to accept what you want it to accept. It's supposed to be there to help guide you on a nice, straight, and narrow path. And I will also conclude by saying I would implore and ask on behalf of the people of the Virgin Islands that the joint boards of election please reconsider your position on utilizing the technology properly, because it remove me with handcuffs or something.
Hello, please.
Member Kimberly Simber.
Madam Chair.
Member Salisbury is going to start.
No, Attorney Salisbury.
Then we're going around. Attorney
Point of order,
Salisbury.
Madam Chair. I did not hear clearly what the young lady was saying.
Well,
She
Mr.
said,
Dickinson didn't.
no, that was after Mr. Washington started the shop. Could you let the young lady finish what she was saying? You said let her finish. Point of order.
Attorney Salisbury, I heard Attorney Salisbury.
Point of order.
Going to respond.
Point of order. Could I ask the reporter, did you hear completely all of what the lady said? She have to hear this. This is a record that have to be recorded. Did you hear what she was saying?
No.
All right. So how are you gonna have a track?
Salisbury?
Ms. Coverdale,
You're going to have a chance to say something before we start.
we reviewed the other day, we did the test ballots, whenever you put the party ticket, and then you put another.
Again, you can't have two meetings, because I can't hear what you said. The reporter cannot hear what is being said over here. We can't have two meetings, including the members. You know, we gotta be respectful to people, man. Everybody has an opinion.
Tell Turu that's equal to.
Member,
Sorry. Tell me.
Attorney Salisbury, please continue.
We sat here a week or two ago, we ran several ballots. You ran them. You selected the party ticket, and then you added extra candidates. None of the party candidates received those votes. Only the non-party candidates received their votes. And then after we did that, ES&S sent us the functionality of the DS200, and that's what it says it does. So what you have up there is 100% incorrect.
Actually, ma'am, I beg to differ, so let me clarify since you don't understand what I'm saying.
Would you like to read what ES&S says?
Excuse me.
I was there, and I'm gonna tell you, I told,
Excuse me, Dr. Coverdale.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Member Brown, member
Madam Chair, no, welcome in. Madam Chair, Dr. Coverdale works for the election board or the system. Dr. Coverdale has made a recommendation based upon what she believes. The board has made a completely different recommendation based upon what we believe. Dr. Coverdale should not be, in fact, fighting and arguing against what this board has decided. She has her role to play as our technician. Either she's going to work for us or she's not going to work for us. But to sit here and to tell and argue with our counsel as to what we have observed, how we interpret the law, that she interprets it different, is wrong.
my
And we should-
fiduciary duty.
Excuse me,
Excuse
Dr.
me,
Coverdale.
and it's no longer.
I'm gonna need you to change your tone. I'm gonna need it. okay?
Excuse me?
Because she
Excuse
is.
me, Dr. Coverdale.
No, I got one. She has got to. That is absolutely no.
Can I make a motion to hear the lady?
5-minute recess.
Hello, Mr. Williams, please then make a motion to
We're recessing.
No, I have some questions on what you said. I will no, don't mind him.
Don't mind him, a crook, don't mind him.
He can't put you in.
Keep them warm inside there. Don't mind them. Don't mind them coming to come.
Did you make a motion for it to happen?
Such an insulting watch.
Carolyn! 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 Carolyn, don't mind them that come. We said want to hear the woman, right? They make the motion to hear her first. So come they want to hear her. No, they make the motion to do what she does. Don't mind them.
Going to the Democratic Party symbol, and everybody else vote outside of the party getting one vote.
This is why the screen should display.
The problem doesn't exist. That's not a problem.
The screen needs to show you what happened. You then make the motion to hear the woman. They tell me shut up.
Yeah, but it's not. But that means it's not working in that
regard. The screen. Yeah.
But it's not. It's not.
They could correct it if they want to correct. Their intention for that for you to know. That's what they do. What's money now? We know enough. We know this. They know. If a group of people of seven get the phone all the time. Every time on one go,
That's the message.
But we sit down with a million machines back there. Bring a machine here, open it up. Let us see what's going to happen.
They need to bring a machine. They vote to hear what she's saying.
Bring a machine here.
That machine, right? The show overvoted in every category. The law clearly states when you vote a symbol, either Republican or Democrat, the Board of Election can't use a symbol vote because the law prohibits members of the same party who dominated the board. Understand? I don't know where they're going to eat that can't take. They know that if a party has 7 candidates, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, but in this case, you have 7 Democrats on full slate. So every time you push the symbol, every time you push the Democratic symbol, automatically the governor, the delegate, and the senators get a vote of 7. If you push a Republican alone, or HM alone, and no party alone, you have 10 votes on the machine, and the machine comes ready to record everything. So they know that when you do that, right, the screen should show you that you pick 10 and not 7. That's the only thing wrong with the machine. Don't mind them. They can't take. They said that person. And they accepted what I was objecting to, that you don't have no document like export from no court. I come here and say export, you blame me for the issue. They accepting she as the export and the record. That's how stupid that is. You hear that Tony telling the other judge, you really quote that?
I didn't hear what she said.
I hear what she said. Yeah, they vote to hear an expert. She put on her record and transcript. Can they put on her record? I asked for official expert from a document and court. So someone else said that for you. See what they do? They want to put it on fax now. See what happened? They want to blame fax now. The email from the girl Alexia, she only said 16. How much was that 16 or 50? Then what 34? So why they can't tell her that? They must.
Oh, this is you?
No problem. But I'm saying to you, I made a motion to consider COLA. Is it COLA we supposed to consider? They want a class and the whole machine. We don't use, they use it, and then they want it. That's what we do. I know that's what she was doing. I know, I bet you should have gone to executive session.
I never say that's right. Tell him to start talking and then. Tell him to start talking and then. Alright. Bring a machine. Bring a machine and then show what it does. Bring a machine. Bring a machine.
Molina.
Point of order. Point of order.
Member Lisa Harris.
I move that we rise in executive session.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Mr.
Rise in executive session so we can discuss the legal issues and the irregularities.
Motion.
I second her motion.
Objection. Objection.
Executive session meeting, you all have to go. No, we don't.
Objection.
Mr. Jordan, you can keep your crowd.
And Mr. Jordan.
Yes. Wilma Monsanto? No. Drew Watlinson? Yes. Alicia Wells? Yes. Liliana Beladi O'Neill?
No.
Liliana Beladi O'Neill? No. Adelbert Bryan?
No.
Adelbert Bryan? No. Lisa Harris Moorhead?
Yes.
Lisa Harris Moorhead? Yes. Roland Molina?
No.
Roland Molina? No. Rupert Ross Jr.?
No.
Rupert Ross Jr. No. Glenn Webster?
Yes.
Glenn Webster, yes. Raymond Williams?
Yes.
Raymond Williams, yes. Madam Chair, 7 yeas, 5 nays, 4 absent, 2 absent.
Motion is carried. We're going to go into executive.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Ask the persons,
Mr. Dickerson, we're in executive session. You know what to do. You know what to do.
Not we know he can't put nobody else here.
You know what to do, Mr. Dickerson.
So Dickerson, don't put your hand on this issue. You're gonna tell you. Don't let you take the position.
And then you put your hand up. You have to put my hand up.
Just start to them.
Glenn, don't engage with the board. Glenn, you know what to do.
You can't take the
And don't touch this. When you touch that, don't touch that. Me? That be the last thing you touch my leg, brother. Bring them guys, bro. Bring them guys to the police. How many names?
Only the police will put out of here. That he have not touched the police or marshal deputy. No mind him. He's in a sergeant at arms. And they ask to hear the woman first. Tell them I challenge to export this.
Why can't you bring them around? But some place else. We ain't going to place.
For what they got.
You if you do a sit-in, how far you gonna go?
We're going to jail.
That's what I wanna hear.
Okay.
If you wanna do a sit-in, you decide to do a sit-in. Don't just wait till the police come and then leave. If you're gonna do a sit-in, you follow it all the way
That's why
through.
there's a shot. You want to go. Are you stay?
Okay. That's all I wanna know. If you're gonna do a sit-in,
Are you going to stay there? If I go in jail, we are going to jail.
we just need to make that clear. We're gonna stay in, we're gonna go to jail.
That's what we said.
Don't call out to the police come. Stay. Okay, but if you police come, everybody gonna fall.
Not you. Not I.
Maybe you go forward. Stand for yourself.
You might fall, but not me. We ain't gonna fall.
Just saying. We said.
If they say some positive, don't say no.
Do you understand? I'm a police officer, and if I tell the police, I'm not
What you want? Let it go. Make a difference to me.
We're protecting her. Yeah, he don't understand. Okay? My job is on the line. But I'll
But
go.
your job on the line, you need to do.
No, but I won't. I'll put my job on the line. It's important to me. That's what I'm saying. If I put my job on the line, I don't want nobody to fold on me.
So when you push the prelim, hopefully for December, actually voting for all 7. Then if you are
Let the police say.
Independent.
the machine would register. The only thing that is missing is that you are like seeing that you pick candidates. So all they need to is correct is they can see the one. But they realize now, people can see and think because the machine was voting for the time we came here 2 years ago. I'm saying to you, we've been wrong to the council, the short he never been to the council to have a machine.
This is what she should have done. She should have had a machine.
That mother, they should have been the machine. They arranged for her to speak first. If they had listened to me, the machine would have been in his car. They put her the first item in the agenda. So what I was trying to get them to do before they let her speak, to put the machine in here, she explained it because she was speaking about the old machine. They should have brought the new machine right here.
My question now is, why are we here?
What do you
But that's my question now. I'm not even addressing the machine.
We ain't leaving. Lock us up. We ain't leaving.
Because if
We are not leaving.
If there's a meeting,
Lock us up, but we ain't leaving.
if there's a meeting, and you would
We never ready to be here. We're not leaving. You gonna find the land of country before you lock us up. We're gonna sue you.
yeah, so you know, but
They try to find the land that people sue you.
Sergeant Hans can't put it.
They try to find the land. I know the land.
Says we can
Tell you from
see
no.
here.
You know what I'm saying?
Any I put them on sue you. Make sure I know the land, understand the land.
That's right.
This is
I'm gonna drag our ass in court. Make sure I understand the law, know the law before I try to apply any law here today.
Hey, Bob, you have the transfer.
Leave them there. Leave the police them down there.
Type 1. Sunshine Land, type 1.
Excuse me. We're trying to find out whether you all have your rights. We don't have no knowledge, but we need you all to act in an orderly fashion so we can do our job and assist you all. Okay? I understand. All right, thank you.
The police were here before they leave the procedure. The police were here before and the same thing happened.
I can't be accountable for who was here before. I can only be accountable.
But check the records. The police have the report. Check the police records. I know me leaving. I don't care why you see. I'm not leaving.
We have the right to be in executive session.
I got dragged me out there and my back today.
You need it in writing. If it's not in writing, it's in writing. Right.
But you have Title 1? You don't have Title 1.
the sunshine.
Yeah.
Title 1, and when we stand
All right, and if she put her y'all somebody else in writing. But we did it black and white. I need the whole, I need black and
That's how the only way they would do it.
Yeah, you can. Well, give us somebody. I know it says Title 1.
Tell her what you do.
Don't be afraid, little brother.
Go on and tell her what's There's a fight you can't win. No, tell her what's happening. It doesn't matter. It's been an accomplishment. I know. That's a delay. If you're not going to accomplish nothing, you don't fight. You fight the fight. This is just a delay. It's my part. I want you to go forward and go forward fair. I want you to be counted, not the board to decide the what we call executive session. They have to give notice.
Okay, my thing is right, y'all have give me all kind of information, right? What I need y'all to show me, it's in black and white. Okay.
You gotta show it to us. Huh? You have to show it to us. You show it to me.
Like I said, right, if it wasn't in the private session, you don't have to go to be here.
What are they going to discuss in the session? They have to tell them to discuss. You have to know what they're discussing.
They can go into executive session when they have to give notice.
They have to give us notice what they're going to discuss. They have to tell us what they're going to discuss.
Did you look at the agenda for today?
No, I haven't looked at it.
Look at this agenda.
What are they going to be discussing?
Look at the agenda.
Sir, can you please take me off?
No, I could put the camera on, that's a lie. I could put the camera on you.
But you
That's the
asked me to
lie.
read, no problem. But I'm assisting you.
I
understand that. I understand that. I don't want him to interpret what he wants to say, so we have to say it and it's recorded. Okay?
Okay, look at that agenda, please. Back up. Take a picture if you want. You all need to know what you're doing and you're also getting in trouble.
No. But that's why I'm researching.
And we're going to end up suing you. You understand? You don't want me to sue you. We're going to sue you for yourself personally and for as a police officer. So you be careful what you're doing. This here doesn't have any mention of executive session. You understand?
You want to allow me to read?
Let me say what I'm saying.
But you should be something like this.
Let me explain. I'm saying to you, can you take your long to go over this and see it? Don't say
But how am I going to look over it if you continue the
just look over it. Don't talk, just look.
This is what he presented to do with the agenda.
That's all I'm talking about.
Okay, it's in November 4th. It's in November 4th. No, I'm saying it's in November 4th. They don't have none for today. Today, okay.
You got extra one. You need a copy of this to go with you. So I put that. You have to decide on the formal executive session because it's not on the agenda. If it was on the agenda, we'd have to leave it. Secondly, if it was on the agenda, but all the going to discuss is something that affects us, they don't have the right to leave. If it's their own business, personnel, and who they're hiring, and some report, whatever they want to write up, then you must leave. But this is not their business they're discussing ours, and it's not that's simple. That's what Dr. Donovan was trying to tell you. Let me get the Diane still getting it.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. It's not from this is national.
It's in Title 1, Sunshine Law. Exactly. But you gotta look at what like islands, every state applies for Simply I quote the one. That's what it's we normally would walk with it, but we know we need to do that. Every time we every time
I never seen anything like this. This is from Chicago politics here. Okay? We're ready to go. We're ready to go.
Even explain this by that's all we're
We're just waiting for people to leave. We're not leaving. We're not leaving.
Yeah, you have a parliamentarian. This gentleman right here. We have respect. One thing about this baby, like us, you get a history lesson, you get a present lesson, you get a Diane, you find it?
That's the intention.
Definitely. Yeah, it's like somebody said I could bring up the news, but the war all sitting here, nobody's moving. Then I see that there was a disturbance of which right now we're destroying things. And many times they're trying to put us out of our executive session.
Yeah, she did.
But they have to come to
And the minute God wants to have a session and say it's not the truth, he will bring us back in here.
Somebody got to say something. Let me say. He won't let me say. He won't let me say because I'm a candidate. It don't mean nothing to me either. They won't interview us. Everybody want to say something. Everybody want to say something. You guys don't want to say nothing?
You got to vote
They candidates. All you have to do is say, we ain't leaving because they just can't make an executive order and put us
Community hold on to one another, okay? That's what around the wall. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we're here.
Yeah, we already got the end. We already they cannot go without saying you just can't have a meeting and say, oh, we want to go on executive. So, whether it's on the agenda or not, the president cannot just have a meeting and say, we want an executive meeting. But no, the only thing we want to talk about is the procedure. They're not following procedure.
I heard both sides. I heard the cry of the people. And I spoke to your name is again, ma'am?
Wells.
Ms. Wells. Okay, she informed me of certain things. You all have knowledge also. Okay, you all brought it to my attention. The same thing that she's saying, you all mentioned to me. So now she's going to do what she has to do. Okay, and I would like you all undivided attention with no interruption. And we're going to conduct this in an orderly manner because guess what? What you're fighting for is for tomorrow or for today. Okay? Let's conduct ourselves as such. Ma'am?
There was a vote taken, a motion made, second, and a vote taken to go into executive session. And I announced that we will now go into executive session. Some members of this joint board have spoken to the public and tell them, don't leave. The way joint executive sessions take place, the members from the public leave. They can stay in the hallway or any place else they want to. The members of the joint board will stay here. And once we've concluded our meeting in the joint board, we bring out the information to the public as to what we did. We cannot vote in a joint board meeting. No votes are
So, one second.
Executive session.
One second.
Sorry.
So after you all have done the executive session, they would be allowed to come back inside.
Sure, that's how it's always done. A lot of who are here now.
So like again, I asked y'all, I didn't come and forcefully put anybody out. You all have your right. I understand that. I understand your cry. However, y'all, you show me the law also. Now she's advising y'all. Can y'all kindly leave the room in an orderly fashion, please?
What are they going to discuss? That's what they're going to discuss.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I am a member of this board, I'm the chairman from St. Croix.
Yes, sir.
You have attorneys here. When you look at boards or units that have to go into executive session, a motion can be made to go into executive session, but they must say what they're going to discuss, but they don't have to tell you what they discussed in the executive session. The motion was made to go into executive session. I objected and I voted no. There was 7 divisions voted yes to go into executive session without knowing why. I will never ask the people, I said they must leave. So, can I finish?
One second.
That's the problem here. When board talking, they
Continue talking.
I'm saying, I explained to this gentleman, this child says, don't let nobody tell you to put your hand on no one because another police officer here, and you just hear the sergeant in the arm. He doesn't have anybody to push anybody out there. So I said, wait until the police come. Now you are here, and my position is clear. That when the motion was made, I said objection, they called the roll, 5 said no, some said not voting, and the vote is right up. You can see for yourself. I am telling you, sir, officer,
Okay.
regardless of what you see, the law is clear. When we go to executive, we tell them, we don't have to carry everything to discuss, we tell you go into executive session, 1, to exist the voting machine that we have to decide among ourselves. 2, we want to hear from the people involved, who is the expert. When we come back from the executive session, they come in back at the regular session, and by law, they must schedule we've made, and we went in the executive session, we discussed the topic, and this is what we decided. I was the one that told the gentleman here, about the procedure, he put his hand on people, and that's why.
1 second if I may.
After the liquid.
One second, sir. 1 second. Let's make a long story short. Is anybody here for the board at this time?
No.
Who's accounted for?
Sergeant Harrigan is outside.
There's a number of people who are
Okay, well, who's present? Who calls the vote?
Who calls the vote for the thing?
Yes.
The chairman call the vote. I call the roll. You need to see the roll call?
No. It's okay.
All I'm going to say.
What I'm getting at, right? With who's present here now, we can't say who's unaccounted for.
Well, I understand what you mean.
Okay. Who all is here for the board right now? She can have a vote. Name? I'm asking.
We already had the vote.
Okay.
We already had the vote.
So we're
going to executive session to discuss legal matters.
Okay.
If you have a question, this is our legal counsel. She is Assistant Attorney General, and I think she would be objective as to what is right and wrong from your position as a police officer. You don't have to listen to us. You don't have to listen to me because everything he says, I totally disagree with. But she is a counsel to the board. She's the Assistant Attorney General. I think you need to conform with her as to the state and the law and what is proper and what is improper.
Okay. The police department have a lawyer, right?
Yeah. Okay. 1 second, let me speak to the sergeant.
Yeah, I have a lawyer too. You want to hear from my lawyer?
I settled this whole thing. I can't for the agenda.
Is that your problem? Me ain't got
No problem.
Me ain't got problem. We can do what we doing. No, you ain't stop it.
That's why I didn't know what she was saying. I don't want to hear her before the executive session. I didn't understand what to tell you. You accept me as an expert to testify. I want you to talk. Are you supposed to be here? Set upstairs. Set upstairs. I'm saying, we are coming on. So I'm saying, you stand right here. You accepted the lady as an expert. These voters look at this. Who are you? Nothing wrong with that. Why are you like that?
It's like the union arrest them. You're not even a voter here with the
He let back to that place. He let back to that place. Not a resident.
That's what it says.
Bring it down.
Everybody has a realize, when he wouldn't agree with them, he started to possibly their job, and that's what happened. That's what he has they listened to the lady, went to question and I'm all the question over here, and then already, they were Listen, that will tell you. I ain't saying they might tell you for the rest of sometimes yes,
And if you want to get us all on that saying that's fine. If not, you don't need to be in here. That's in your story. But we want to get our story out. Why we're here. We have a vested interest in what's going on in this election. We are candidates and we are voters. I hope that's clear because he just said it's for legal reasons. He just said it's for legal reasons.
Yeah. I'm taking interviews. I'm starting to go on interviews.
No, she's not the person, right? She's not
Excuse me.
That rudely interrupted.
Don't move.
So the people will know. I'm sorry.
Again, I'm pleading to you all. They're going into an executive session. Can you all step out in the hallway? Let them discuss whoever come to a ruling or whatever the procedures they take, and then you all come back in and they advise you all what was taken.
Young man.
1 second, man. 1 second, man. 1 second. Okay? Who are you looking at? Huh? Am I looking at you? I can choose to look at you. How you know I'm looking at you? No, you didn't do anything.
It happened already. I'm back in the instant.
Okay, no problem. But I'm asking you all, right? I'm crying out to y'all.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I speak now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking to an attorney, okay? And what he's saying is this. What Arturo Washington just said on record, that the reason that he needs us to leave, they need us to leave, is for legal reasons. We are under the understanding that all this here is under the oath. They practice this walk oath to give us and to promise us the integrity of this election. They cannot ask us to leave on a legal matter. If it was something to do with Ms. Coverdale, the situation before their motion, if it was for dealing with Ms. Coverdale, her personal salary and something personal in the board, that's different. But for a legal matter that has to do with the integrity of the election, we will not leave. That's all we're saying. It's a legal matter. The chair for St. Thomas just said that. It's a legal matter. That affects us. Every single case that has to do with this election, everyone that's filed, whether it's Chucky, whether it's Basil, whether it's whatever, that affects the integrity of our lives, the rest of our lives. So we're not leaving.
We're not leaving.
I'm tired of this. I thank you, okay? Thank you.
You know that, right?
These people are attorneys and they don't know that. They changed the agenda. They changed the agenda from what I tell you to do from the beginning. Consider what the court said. That's a legal matter. They said no, they want to consider what the court said. They want to hear from Dr. Coverdale. They want Dr. Coverdale done that. They toss her out, she got it, and they want to hear. No, that's another move. That's another move. I'm saying objection. Call the motion, the roll call, you'll get your vote. This is another motion you're making before you say you offer recess. No. That's what she said. Well, now we've been here talking like this.
But I can't take. That's what she said.
Out of motion, I'm simply asking you. It is simply put, if you're making a motion to go to executive session, that should be recorded that you say you're going to do now. You can't say that
was made already.
to go to executive session without any reason. So is that what you're saying now?
I said it already about a half hour.
You forgot to elect you to that position. You forgot to elect you? You have forgot to elect guys to this position? You know what? She said no, that's what she said no in this case. No. When no. Say legal matters first.
That's what she
said. You change it to Dr. Coverdale. These are two different motions. She's two things doing. First was a legal matter. Now it's Dr. Coverdale. Which one is it? It's implied that the legal matter. Wait, 1 second. There is no legal matter. Who you asking the question? Who you asking the question? Asking the chair. Listen, I'm saying. The chair. She will answer the question, please.
I already said we were going to executive session to discuss that.
I did not tell you to shut up. I actually.
Shut up, Michael.
I did not say that.
Officer, I speak. Simply say, I am not arguing over if the majority vote to go into executive session. I'm simply saying,
Ma'am, 1 second. Let me hear what you have to say.
if we simply just say we're going into executive session, we are required to tell the people who are here, who are employees, and the audience of the public, we're going into executive session to discuss what Dr. Coverdale says, the legal matters. When it was made first, all the motion was made to go into executive session. They voted 6 to 7 or something like that. I think it was 5 to 7. 5 to 7, or whatever it was. I'm simply saying, if we want to follow the right procedure, if you read the cases against the Daily News and our agency, it says when you go into executive commercial motion, you just said we go into executive session to address the machine, but Dr. Coverdale said. But when you say legal, but there is no legal matter before with Dr. Coverdale. And that is what I'm saying. She just said something new now. All of us here, if I'm the only person saying now, which I could, that's what I need to hear what we go into executive for. Session by a motion and a record. That's all I want to hear. Thank you.
Can you read again for me?
We're going into executive session to discuss Dr. Coverdale's presentation. That's the 4th time I've said that.
Is it a motion?
This is a motion.
That's the question he asked.
Ain't got no motion. We
Okay, they don't do the vote already. So, excuse me. So, you all have knowledge? Can you all please leave in a peaceful manner and come back? Okay? Ma'am, okay, let's discuss it outside, please.
Don't tell them the please come along.
Some people say different things, that's what I'm saying.
Is the board member? You said board members, right?
Your terms will be up soon.
I'm not going.
And you will be voted out.
Let me talk. We're like friends. Listen. Let's you don't need to go through this. Don't even bring this in. Come on. Come. I need better than that. Yep, sis. Come on. No, come, don't do that, man. No. Come on, man.
Let me ask you a question. The way I see you acting, right? I didn't go okay. I'm from here. But the way you're acting, we ain't gonna get no place like this. We're not. Honestly speaking, we're not. Let them do what they have to do. Then when you come back in, then you'll have your argument. Listen to the details that are coming afterwards. They have a tape.
Register all the votes that are pushed with a button on the category of the Democratic symbol. If you push the ICM or the Republican, and the Republican only have 4 candidates for the party, you can, and by law, as instructed, write in 4 more from any other party. But if you pick 6 more, you have 9 votes, and the machine will also register. If you pick the Republican Party again, they have 1 candidate, you may pick 6 and you have compliance with the law. But if you pick 7 more, you have 8 votes spoiling the ballot. So I'm saying the machine and we who are here, who know better, should perform those additional functions. If you do that, then you're being a disservice to the people of the Virgin when you test only 4. And that is my observation for what I know about the machine, and talking to the engineer and vice president at ESNS and ballot design and function. So I think we need to offer an amendment to Mr. Martin's motion to increase, and my motion is now to increase the number of ballots to 7. So much. Why? No, I said motion. Madam Chair, I made it clear before I went to pick up them big plate of food. I have a motion we're coming to eat. I said that.
We're going to vote on the motion for the 4 ballots.
Amendment to the motion.
Mr. Larry Petrosky.
Amendment to the motion.
Daniel, absent. Gordon Georges, yes. Lydia Hendricks, yes. Wilma Mas Monsanto? No. Wilma Mas Monsanto, no. Drew Wappington Jr., yes. Alicia M. Wells? Yes. Alicia M. Wells, yes. Liliana Velarde O'Neill? Yes. Liliana Velarde O'Neill, yes. Adelbert M. Bryan?
No.
Adelbert Bryan, no. Lisa Harris Moorhead? Yes. Lisa Harris Moorhead, yes. Roland Molina? No. Roland Molina, no. Rupert Ross Jr.?
Yeah.
Rupert Ross Jr., yes. Mr. Glenn Webster? More. Mr. Glenn Webster Moore,
Raymond
Williams. No, you mean he abstained. No, you mean he abstained.
You can't mean him, I'm not saying no.
What's your vote, Mr. Webster? No. Okay, vote no. Okay. Raymond Williams abstained. Madam Chair, 7 yeas, 5, 4 nays, 1 abstain, 2 absent.
Point of order.
Excuse me, Member Brown, what did you say?
Point of order.
Point of order.
I think I made it very clear when I said objection. And there's no Robert's rule that says that when I put my objection on the board and I've completed, I can't make a motion to amend the previous motion. And that was by the point of order, put it on the record again. I made a motion after explaining why it is unfair and almost fraudulent to disrespect the function of the machine when in fact we know what the machine will show you. 4 ballots is not sufficient to show the function of the machine. What we know is only one category we can concern about. Every person has a right to use any one of the 3 symbols by law, and provided a law where there is not sufficient candidate for a particular office, the persons of voting may select or add or leave it. That is, but if they add beyond the 7, it is an overvote and the ballot is spoiled. You're not going to show that because you're using 4 ballots. And that's why I wanted to amend it, and it was voted on to do otherwise. And I'm going to stand right here, and I'm going to tell all these people what the machine is doing. And I have to tell them that.
And Molinar?
So that's what you want.
As a person who's put a ballot?
I don't have to because I didn't vote to. Can't pick one man.
Audience.
I need
The
all.
audience.
Excuse me.
I think you said you would give one to audit of the Daily News.
And I tell you what, since Alexander worked for the state citation board.
That's what happened. He have to be here. All them are going to railroad out of foolish. What kind of bus you have
Right
there?
there.
These are tests. I'll test.
You have some secret ballot? Where's the secret ballot? Yeah, because you're testing ballot. It's a joint board meeting. It's a joint board.
You bring up a machine over here from Taker?
I could show you.
No, encoded. It's not programmed.
I asked him. I am asking.
The answer is it's
The
not.
answer is you don't have them.
It's not a
I'm
program.
saying you don't have
It's
them.
not
Look here, easy to put, hello.
All right, the St. Thomas ballot?
But if you put the secret ballot in there, better the machine read it. Who thinks so? You're going to read the barcode to the side. You will read the barcode to the side regardless of what ballot you put. There's the question Thomas suggests. It will read the barcode. See what you mean, you know that? Which people? Who want the ballot?
The media.
Who want the ballot?
Anybody want to do it?
Depends on right here.
Overvote on these ballots, Steve. You know, but you want
Give me one.
They're playing with these people. Any bad ones about it?
Use this pencil.
Brian, what's the special about Brian?
Overvoted every club.
Because you have a gel pen and you can mix up the scanner. They're using our pens.
The machine will print every ballot.
Give me a pen, boy.
Yeah, they're using the pens already.
He about to give me one.
I don't know what they train them over here. I mean, what was said.
Excuse me.
Do the symbol
Excuse
and then
me.
overvote.
See about the lead. Hello, miss.
Mine comfort on this part where you can take my shoes. Huh? Don't
Nikki, when she do the same thing for my ballot, and she has chicken. The machine, the bar, gonna read the barcode. saying the barcode could be read. Well, then that's how you, that's how we show that the barcode could only read these ballots.
And you pick an independent.
When you put the ballot and stick in the machine, you're gonna reject it. So it functions.
Because what? Okay, hold on. Go ahead. Could you guys move on to the wings of the video? What?
It's right there, there's all this.
I could not be read. Try it again.
The special pen we use.
No, something here. Okay, so now it's 40. So what you just said should happen. What you just said. Okay.
Okay, let's wait on that one. No? Okay, run that keep it. Run out there so you can see which board was counted.
We do that. How many you did on that one? How many you did on that one on the back?
And the special board? And a special board. Okay, and the 8 or just done? Yeah. 8, I did the 8, and the symbol, Democrat.
Yeah, but that's going to come back. But I understand what you're trying to do. No problem. We're going to close out. We're going to see where the vote went. Closing the poll. You're the only voter that's voted on this machine. It was one count, one public count. One public count comes up there. One sheet of paper went down in here. One saying wherever that place is.
Got his lovely family. What happens when someone puts a
If it's an unreadable ballot,
Okay, here we go.
How would that happen?
unreadable, we would remake the ballot.
And we looking for the Democratic symbol.
Another one, because we will have your people here. We have to say unreadable ballot, unreadable ballot.
I just stopped the news and just put that second.
If you put a secret ballot in a machine, you're going to reject it. That's why trying to show the machine program to do exactly what they're doing. They're trying to figure out because they realize that they're going to create a lot of spoiled democratic symbol because no other party have a full slate. That's what they're doing.
And then they will determine.
Well, again, the Democrat.
The machine working right, you know. Don't mind them.
But it's not in the primary.
The machine program to do exactly what it's supposed to do. They realize that what they wanted to do was to determine vote eligible by taking them on the bin. The machine could already record 10 votes for 10 senators, only supposed to be 7.
Party symbol. Where was the name of the person who said it?
My mother was there.
No, according to the
They're very sure you know the machine will work. How come that they want something different? You the machine being showing one thing. How come it can't work different to them?
I just want to make sure it's clear in your mind. Okay? You used to ask the questions and I'm trying to get a response for it because I want you.
Comment. Next question. Come. Wait. You want to put this. If I take a sentiment ballot, right? What do you do with the Mom, 3 ballots.
I was saying Thomas Ballot?
Yeah, and this is Thomas ballot.
Where would I get Thomas
Because
Ballot?
they right here, we got a website, money together, we something. Take a sentiment ballot. I'll pick a symbol of each party. Democrat, Republican, ICO. Then fill in a cross vote.
We did that already last night.
And what happened?
They accept the voters how the voter did it.
That's it. They know that. So what they gonna do then? When they take that out, it's not a spoiled ballot. If you vote in any category,
It doesn't overvote because
I know, but they register the vote.
yeah, but it's not an overvote.
So who you going to vote them for?
Well, like I said, they give it to the voter intent. The voter's intent.
What is the voter intent? If I put a Democratic symbol, I pick 3 other candidates. What is the intention of the voter? You can't put his intention if you have some kind of voting tree. Will you do that?
But that's how the market.
But the voter's intent is to pick, what, 10 people, right?
No.
For me, no.
It doesn't count as 10 people.
How does the symbol supersede a man intent?
So that's how it does.
That's what it does?
But you're still there, man.
Think everybody being irresponsible if you're wearing red and a candidate, a machine or a candidate, that's a Republican vote.
So how are those
That's
people?
right.
Webster. How this vote is determined a voter's intent when the voter pushes the Democratic symbol and then pick 3 other candidates. What is the voter's intent?
They tell me it's spoiled.
They want to hear it spoiled because they remove it out of the Democratic Party. Can't they? That's how it is.
What constitutes that? Give me an example of what
They start talking shit like a liar. I know that gambler man, any money man will gamble a lie.
How you get a spoiled ballot?
Who authorized you to say it's spoiled?
That's why I'm about to ask.
He don't have the authority unless his asshole duplicate.
So, what would they define as spoiled?
What criteria they use to say spoiled?
That's why I asked you.
If it's the voters' intent, right? Who are we to say that when you put 3 more posts that in Democrat, that you 3 people should get it? But that's what they want to take it up and give to them.
What they're trying to say is that they would catch it when that happens.
The only way to catch it is when the light show on the screen. Because you make the same mistake in a ballot.
So then they're catching it for all the voters.
They want to. You know that. Come on, shit, you talking.
So how would they remedy that in early voting? How would they remedy that situation?
How you gonna remedy it so the machine knew what it designed to do? The machine knew what it was
That's on election day. Yes. Early voting, how do you remedy that?
I take it from my own, I get up.
Exactly.
I take